So yeah, today I'm going to talk about police vehicles and why your municipality should be getting them. This is all part of our government engagement and all of our sort of work we do in advocacy for electric vehicles and everything that they do much better for humanity. For those of you that are movie fans, what do police forces look like now? These are typical vehicles you'll see on city streets. The Dodge Charger Pursuit and the Ford Police Interceptor SUV. GM also makes their own sort of equivalents to these, and they're all kind of in the same ballpark for costs and everything. Speaking of cost, that's what you'll pay for them before you start putting police stuff on them. They keep in service between 4 to 5 years, depending on how badly they get treated by the officers in them. That's not my opinion. That comes from one of the guys who runs their fleets. Apparently, they're not very nice to their cars. They get driven an average of 30,000 kilometers per year, and they sit idling for 60% of every shift. And then at the end of that time, they're sold off for not very much money. That's currently where we're at. Police battery electric vehicles. The UK, London, they did a shift some of their vehicles into police EVs. Here's the BMW i3. They started that back in 2015, 2016. Many other places in Europe have done this as well. Here's an example in Switzerland. They went whole hog on the electric Kona. Starting in about 2019, more forces in the United States started to do a shift to EVs. Here we have one, Baggersville, a Tesla 3 long range, although a number of forces have also chosen the standard range. And now, since last summer when the Model Y started getting built, some of them are looking at and in fact buying the Tesla Model Y. There's a Spokane police there. They've dipped their feet in the water for 4, which I think we're being delivered about as we speak. So let's compare a legacy internal combustion engine police vehicle against a battery electric vehicle. So cop cars, they have special cop motors, special cop suspension, special cop tires and brakes. They'll kick off, they'll give you about 5.8 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. For the Ford Explorer all-wheel drive here, about 61,000. Again, that's without police equipment. Fuel costs that you'll spend for that 30,000 kilometers of moving a year, 5,586, but they'll idle almost another 8 grand in fuel. So total cost per year, over $13,000. That's at fairly cheap gas, I might add, $1.25. So you can pump these numbers up by about 20%. Maintenance costs from the online resources, about $900. He's got to look after the brakes, the pads, oil changes, the inspections, the blades. 5-year cost total, purchase cost plus the operations and maintenance. At the end of 5 years, you've spent almost $133,000 to operate one police vehicle. You've had an annual greenhouse gas impact of a whole bunch of nasty toxins and CO2 of almost 41,000 kilograms. And there's the size of them: cabin size, the trunk size, and the frunk. What does it look like if we compare this all-wheel drive SUV to a BEV? So we'll take our Model Y, much better acceleration, costs more to buy up front. However, moving costs for those 30,000 kilometers, about $480. You'll idle sitting there with your HVAC on, your lights, your radio, your computer, all that sort of stuff for another almost $550, a total of $1,000 for the year, compared to $13,482. About $100 on inspections and minor adjustments that you need. In that time period, you will not do anything with the brakes, unless you're in a really dirty part of Canada, in which case you'll take the wheels off and give them a scrub as you would for a regular vehicle. $74,640. That is a whole lot of money saved. And greenhouse gas impact, 133 kilograms, as opposed to almost 41,000. Size inside the vehicle, pretty much the same size cabin, more room in the trunk, and it also has a frunk. So there's lots of places for stuff to go. There we have the advantage in each category. Notice the legacy internal combustion vehicle wins only on the purchase price. And what do you get with the legacy internal combustion? Highest environmental and economic costs, and lowest environmental and economic costs for the BEV. Overall, the BEV is a solid winner. So that's for the SUV. Let's look at it for sedan. Operational fuel costs for the year, moving almost $5,000, idling over $6,000, so over $11,000 in gasoline for the year. Maintenance costs a bit cheaper than the SUV, $815. 5-year cost total, purchase price plus the O&M, well, over $104,000. Greenhouse gas impact, a little bit better than the SUV legacy internal combustion engine, 33,000 kilograms. And there's the size. Compare that to a Model 3 long range, all-wheel drive, dual motor obviously. 3.9 seconds to 100 kilometers, so $19,000 more expensive to buy up front. Moving costs, again, very low, coming out to $1,000 a year as opposed to over $11,000. Again, cheap maintenance costs, so total 5-year costs, still $30,000 cheaper. So if you operate 4 of these, rather than 4 of the Dodge Chargers, for example, you can put another officer on the force. So internal volume, still pretty good. Again, the legacy internal combustion wins on purchase price, hands down. But again, you end up with a higher environmental costs and economic costs. Now, some of you out there are pretty smart and you know that there are hybrid versions of internal combustion engines out there. Okay, so here we have the Ford Interceptor Explorer. They have a hybrid. Accelerates 7.3, purchase price $59,900. Operational costs much cheaper than the full internal combustion engine version was, which is almost $14,000. Cheaper for maintenance costs because you're not spending as much on the brakes because it has a certain amount of regen. Purchase price up front, O&M. So at the end of 5 years, you've spent $99,120. You've got a better GHG impact, just under 22,000 kilograms. And again, we'll match it up against the Model Y long range. Acceleration, yeah, it's hard to beat the immediacy of an electric. Still $10,000 more to buy the BEV. The moving and idling costs, the operational fuel costs is still significantly less. Maintenance costs, like 20% of hybrid. And again, the GHG impact is still quite low and more space inside. Again, purchase price is the only place where the internal combustion hybrid wins, and the same end results. Okay, let's look at the benefits if you're a police officer operating in a BEV. Very low center of gravity. You've got less chance of a rollover in the vehicle. You're much more confident that the vehicle is going to go where you point it. Superior acceleration. Yeah, people don't even try to run away from you a lot of the time, and you can shut down the chase early. Superior braking and traction control systems maintain the vehicle control, right? So you're not leaving the road as often. Advanced driver assistance systems, so that when the car is in traffic aware cruise control, and in speaking with police officers, they'll tell you they are the most distracted drivers on the road. They've got driving the car, they've got the radio, they've got their computer. All these things are happening at once. And one of their biggest fears is hitting a kid who dodges out between cars. If you have the car doing the lane assist and then watching for that, it's going to stop quicker than the officer will probably notice if there's a problem. So that's greater survivability for the general public and as well the officers in the vehicles. Silence, no engine noise during patrol. They have a better situational awareness of what's happening around the vehicle. They roll down their windows, they can hear everything. And the air quality. So they're not breathing any carbon monoxide, nitrous oxides, or sulfur dioxides during their shift. And every time they fill up, they're not inhaling benzene, a known carcinogen. For command and the municipalities that employ them, they have a data stream. So a dispatcher can remotely monitor the vehicle charge state and ensure a timely relief if that's going to be an issue. They can also monitor the car's multiple cameras and the vector data, what the vehicle is doing, where it's going, and they can do that for situational awareness and also in post-event evidence logging. And they, of course, are least expensive for operation and maintenance budgets. meaning you can spend your money on other priorities. And least impacted, departmental GHG. Every city, every community out there now has to be able to account for where the GHGs are in their municipality. And it's also a good example for the people in your municipality.